Welcome to music lesson number 8.
I throw my hands up in the air sometimes, singing Ayo, baby, let's go. And it goes on and on and on, and it goes on and on and on. Yeah, I throw my hands up in the air sometimes, singing Ayo, baby, let's go. And it goes on and on and on, and it goes on and on and on. Yeah, I throw my hands up in the air sometimes, singing Hey, baby, let's go. And it goes on and on and on sometimes, and it goes on and on and baby, let's go. And it goes on and on and on, and it goes on and on and baby, let's go. And it goes on and on and on sometimes, and it goes on and on and baby, let's go. And it goes on and on and on, and it goes on and on and on.
For this week's lesson, I decided to, instead of focusing on a particular instrument or talking about the orchestra or talking about a musical concept, I'm going to have all the River Tree students listen to a group called Sprig of That. They're actually a group, a fairly new musical group made up of 3 musicians, and here's a picture of them. And they are here in the Twin Cities. They're Minneapolis people, and they perform in the Twin Cities area. They're very innovative and original with their playing. Either they play music that they've written, and the song that I'm going to play for you is one that the violinist wrote, or they take a piece of music, sometimes folk music, and they make it their own in their own creative way. So it's 3 different instruments, 3 different musicians, and first the violinist will show you a little bit about her violin and the difference between a violin and a fiddle. Then the guitarist will show you his guitar. You are all familiar with the guitar. And finally, the other woman plays what is called the Indian tablas. It's a percussion instrument, and it's really interesting the way she plays it. I want you to pay a special attention to that. So I hope you enjoy this music from Sprig of That.
Hi, my name is Isabel and I play violin with the group Sprig of That. Now the violin is a member of the string family. It has these 4 strings here. And I can either pluck the strings like that, or what I usually do is I use this stick here that is called a bow. Now the bow is made out of wood called Pernambuco. It's a tree that grows just in Brazil. And on the other side, we have these hairs here that are actually made from a horse's tail hair. Now don't worry, the horse is okay. They just give it a little haircut, clean the hairs off, and string them up on this stick. And so that then when I pull the bow across the strings of the violin, it makes a really beautiful, long, flowing sounds like this. Now, this instrument is also sometimes called the fiddle. Now, sometimes people are confused. What's the difference between a violin and a fiddle? Well, I'll tell you, it's really just a difference of what kind of music you play. The piece I just played was an example of a classical piece. Now, classical music is usually long. The pieces take a long time to develop, and usually they are written out on sheet music like this. So you read it just like you're reading a book. Fiddle music is usually made up from smaller songs that you repeat over and over, and you learn them by listening to them. They're not written down. So here's an example of a fiddle piece. So that's a little bit about the violin slash fiddle. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy our music with Sprig of That up next.
Hey everybody, my name is Elon, and I play this instrument, which is called the guitar. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this before. Maybe one of your parents has one, maybe one of your siblings has one or plays, or maybe you have one and you play. So on a guitar, we have 6 strings, and the way that we make sound is we take one of those strings and we pluck it, which makes it vibrate. And when the wood surrounding the strings vibrates, it almost becomes like a speaker and makes it louder. That's how we make sound on the guitar. This particular kind of guitar is called an acoustic guitar, which means that it doesn't need to be plugged into a speaker to make sound, as opposed to an electric guitar, which does. But acoustic guitars are used in a lot of kinds of music all over the world, don't need to be plugged into a speaker. So to make the strings vibrate, to pluck them, we can either use our fingers, and that might sound like this. Or we can use a little piece of plastic called a pick. Look at that. Just a little piece of plastic I hold between my thumb and my index finger, and I use it to play the strings too. I'll play a little bit more from a different piece that uses both the pick and my fingers to vibrate all the strings. It makes some really pretty sounds. I hope you like it. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, my name is Chrissy, and I play the tabla. Tabla are from the country of India, and they belong to the percussion family, which means that we strike them to make a sound. Sometimes I use this big special hammer to tune my tabla. I'll pound down around the outside of the braid to make small changes, and around these pegs to make bigger changes, like this. You'll also see me playing with this baby powder, and it's to make sure that my hands stay smooth and dry while I'm playing. I can get a lot of different sounds out of the tabla. Some are really high, some are really low, and some are in between. When I put them all together, it sounds like this.
I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next time.